hireEZ is the AI-first, people-centric recruiting platform. Simplify recruitment and elevate talent quality with an all-in-one platform for sourcing, CRM, analytics, and intelligence powered by Agentic AI to boost productivity. hireEZ is AI-first. It's people-centric and built for impact. hireEZ's multi-step Agentic AI collaborates with recruiters to boost productivity and speed up internal and external hiring on a semi-autonomous platform. This is AI that works with you. hireEZ's semi-autonomous AI goes beyond automation. It enhances decision-making and streamlines sourcing, engagement, and screening while collaborating with teams and keeping recruiters in control. EZAgent is AI that scales with you. Agent mode empowers recruiters to focus on hiring, not handling tasks. It delivers stronger matches, automates outreach, and keeps every stage of the process moving forward. Enter agent mode today with hireEZ.
Hey, everybody. I'm here today with Steven Jiang on the Rebel TA podcast. We're out here at the hireEZ headquarters. I'm really excited to talk with Steven today a little bit about agent mode. What's up, Steven?
Good. Thank you for having me. And thank you for visiting our new Dallas office.
Thank you for having me. We had quite a party last night.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, crazy. Great, successful one.
How are you feeling this morning?
I feel great. And when I woke up, immediately get out of the bed, I say, hey, I need to have this breakfast conversations with those friends again.
Where does your energy come from?
90% probably from the gym. I have been this energy levels since I was a child, and always about positive and restless of exploring what's new. So that's the energy level I have every day. And also, I love to work with people and inspire people to have the same energy level. So that's great. Every day is a great day.
You have a pretty strong Southern accent. Are you from Texas?
I was not, but I naturally fit into Texas. So I drive the big truck. I also have the boot. I have all the cool and weird things of Texas. I was originally born in China, a small village. And there was a long story about how I grew up in that small village, but very lucky. And after college, I got the PhD program with a full scholarship in North Carolina State University. And then that was the reason why I got into this great country. And now I built my family, built my business here. So,
what's the American dream mean to you?
Simple. Realize my value financially, spiritually, and I think for probably financially, I passed that bar, but now it's more about the value and spiritually. So how can I contribute to bigger things?
So we're out here at the office. We're in a corporate office park. Beautiful view of Dallas. You've invited friends, advisors, colleagues, employees to this celebration. What does it mean for you to be a leader and connect with those individuals in your life?
I enjoy the time with all the old friends. Okay, so we met in person yesterday, the first time. But I believe you and I will become close friends very soon, and we click well together. Okay, so. And the times that I spent with the community members is the time I found accumulate the energy, accumulate the knowledge, and also accumulate the ideas from those people. And whenever I have something new, something in my opinion disruptive or revolutionary, I absolutely the first time want to let those people see it, and also wanted to spread out the message. So
this morning you shared a story about meeting Shannon, and Shannon talks a little bit about meeting you for the first time at SourceCon.
yeah.
Sourcing and recruiting are inherently community-based.
Yeah. We are in people business. People business, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that against this product launch. You've launched Agent Mode, and it's people first,
People-centric, AI first.
people-centric, AI first. What does that mean for reaching candidates in 2025?
You want to hear the PR version or the Steven's true version? So I think it probably the latter one.
Let's do the Steven one.
Okay. Everybody is talking about agentic AI. Okay, everybody, but including myself. Then I and my co-founder and I and my CTO and we always debate and fight. Okay, say, hey, what's the fundamental? And then we talk with a lot of our friends and our connections in the AI scientists, the positions, right? And they work for OpenAI, Anthropic, XAI, and all the greatest companies. So, and then we finally came to this conclusion that our agentic AI has this three things, okay? And two of them, basically the definitions, and then last night I presented, right? Three things. First, semi-autonomous. Second, multi-step, okay? And third, companion, collaborative with recruiters, right? And that's the concept behind the agentic AI of hireEZ. And then we say, cool, so and with this concept, and how can we create the right product format, right? The product can be in many, many different formats. But then we came to this very side-by-side together with recruiters, and especially embedded into their day-to-day workflow. As we call this is the recruiting platform in agent mode. Okay, so that's how the agent mode for the recruiting software, and we came from there. Okay, so the whole and this agent mode is the great upgrade of the user experience from the existing today's SaaS as the SaaS architecture. Today's SaaS, people got used to it. We have it, but it's on the left side, right? And the right side, about 20% of your screen, it will be occupied by the agent. Then the platform running in the agent mode. Just that simple.
I'm looking at you with your zip up turtleneck and the technical eyeglasses. And when you say agent mode, I think of Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, as he descends in that famous scene. I like that illusion of agent mode and empowering recruiters to operate in a different skill set, where instead of focusing on top of funnel, they're focusing on candidate experience and candidate connection.
Yes.
What is going to happen once we have an increased volume of outreach to people's inboxes is a highway to the dead internet. I'm really curious, outside of the application of recruiting, how the average individual, you and I included, respond to the bombardment of messages through agentic AI. So when I think about connecting with people, the skill set for recruiters moving forward is their ability to engage and convert. How does entering agent mode allow recruiters to do that?
Now we are going to talk about the most essential and sensitive part of the AI technology for recruiting. Okay, I cannot speak for other industries. I have a very limited knowledge. But for recruiting, I has been here for a decade. Okay, so that's why we define semi-autonomous, and we must put recruiter, people-centric, put recruiter in the center. If we make it fully autonomous, what will happen? Yes, it's a spammy behavior. So, and a lot of junk message and a lot of very irresponsible behaviors we will observe. What should be the right future recruiting model? And that's something as a technology provider, we need to be very, very responsible. And that's something I hope all the CEOs in our industry, they will participate this conversation together with me and to talk about what should be the right recruiting model. And we want to propose, and I did propose last night, okay, to all the community members, the right and also the new recruiting model. First, we got to let AI first be first. Okay, so AI will do a lot of those work to make recruiters better. And recruiters will have this great strategy of how to find, outreach, and connect candidates. Right? And with all the insights from the AI, and you saw our product, and it has a very comprehensive the thinking trend, right? And multi steps of the planning and execution. So, and recruiters will also learn from those transparent information in the middle, and then can also better strategize and tune what is the better way to connect with the candidates, so that we will turn the recruiting from the volume game to relationship game, and how to bring the best jobs to the best candidates. Right? Our company's vision that was put many, many years ago. Only 3 words: jobs, find, people. That's the direction we will head to, okay? And we always in that direction. Jobs, find people, but not in a spammy way. It must be in an intelligent way and also ethical way. So recruiters should be in the center to bring the best jobs to the candidates. So that all the technologies we develop should empower that to happen. Yes, one day I'm convinced, recruiter has been best, cannot be improved anymore. Oh, okay, at that time the technology's direction might be different. But today it's not a time to talk about that. We need to make the technology and product better for recruiters, because we want to empower them and to make them better first. Then we will see.
Let's talk a little bit about the product, because
Yes.
you alluded to the user experience. When you describe and showcase the product of hireEZ on the left, Agent on the right, what is the actual application of the agent? Is it a separate application that is downloaded to the device and opens separately, or is it from the web app hireEZ itself?
From the web app itself. So, and by default, we won't enable it, and we will ask our customers and users, and they want to enable it, we will enable for them.
So it's a default split screen from the URL web page where the agent is operating and providing recommendations and fine-tuning search strategies and feedback on the right side, while a recruiter is reviewing profiles on the left.
Yes, and bring this. Let's take the FSD and the manual driving as the best example. Okay, so you can turn to the right side. That's autonomous driving, right? And actually also semi-autonomous driving. Okay, take it in that way. And on the left side, okay, you manually drive, but the switch should be smooth, seamlessly. And I don't think other vendors they develop the agentic AI in that way, and it's more about their way is more about embedding the generative AI into buttons, fields. Okay, and we go one big step ahead. It's risky, but we are fine, and we want to take risks. So, and based on the people's interactions last night, I'm very, very convinced we are on the right direction. So,
you took some big risks earlier with hireTool. Talk a little bit about just the state of hireEZ, hireTool, working with Shannon Pritchett, being a part of this industry. When I looked around the room last night, It was an absolute powerhouse of some of the most influential and most talented individuals in sourcing. So, can you share just a little bit about your role that you have played and how you've learned from these folks in the last 10 years?
Yes. And first of all, I feel I was very welcomed by a group of people. It's a first place, and it's not about me, it's about them, I would say. Okay, so Shannon this morning also shared, yeah, there's a short Asian guy. Yes, a very unforgettable. That's my advantage. Then I entered the conference and with the simple mindset. I need them to help me. And I also didn't feel shy of asking for help. The first sentence I had with Shannon, with all other folks at the SOSCON conference was, can you help? Dot, 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 dot. I always start with that. Okay, can you help me? Dot, dot, dot. That was the best message I ever had. Okay, so not afraid of asking for help. That was my experience. And second, adapt into that community. Okay, I integrate myself into it, and people look at me for sure. Oh, vendor. But then, can we be humble enough to ask for opinions and also contribute the less sales message into that community, and provide resources when we didn't see any business return from that business returns perspective, then people will appreciate, and people will see, okay, actually they are different, and then people want to talk with us more. And third, actually, also the most important thing is that be consistent and be persistent. So I have a business to run for sure. Okay, business first. But as a business leader, yes, I put a business first. But in the meantime, as a community member, I need to have a better perseverance and consistency. That's a consistency. Okay, so to continuously work with that. I think that's very important. And 9 years ago, in 2016, and I joined SourceCon at that time, a lot of vendors, right? But today, where are they? And I think all of them exit from our community. You probably feel in the same way. But hireEZ, I would say.
You can't get sourcers into a room without talking shop. Last night, Steve Levy and I got to talking a little bit about email sequences, and I actually got Steve's best email. And Steve starts his emails with candidates, I need your help, dot, dot, dot.
Really?
So if you're a sourcer out there, Steve Levy himself, Uncle Steve, just told you what you need to be writing to your candidates. And Steven Jiang just echoed that. But let's go back to how sourcers reach candidates. It's extracting information from a digital profile that exists on a database somewhere. How is traditional Boolean search different than the current methods being used in agent mode? And maybe could you talk a little bit about vector search?
Yes. So the Boolean search, and that's very classic search engine, how search engine was structured. Okay, it was built, and very effective, super fast. Within 0.1 second, 200 milliseconds, you get tens of thousands, millions of results. Okay, so that's huge advantage. But then the limitation of the intelligence level also very clear. Okay, so And then we built the knowledge graph based search engine. Okay, so to go one step further, right? At that time we call it AI sourcing. That bring the Boolean search to the next level. Say it's a non-relevant search. Okay, so the knowledge graph has the best way to extend one keywords to tens of strongly relevant keywords. Okay, so and then later on, and we have a much more technologies in NLP, right, to do the vector embedding search, right, and that we call it two-tower recording in the backend, and that's much more powerful than the previous search engine again, right? But then in the generative AI world, see, knowledge graph is old technology. That was another story, and later I can talk about. So then we have to reinvent our backend infrastructure and to move from the knowledge graph based and vector based, and to there's a new large language models based, right, to rebuild the search engine again. Essence to take during this whole process. But now, I mean, we always want to take the biggest risks and delight ourselves and rebuild what we built, no matter how much we were proud of the search engine we built when we changed. Okay, so delight ourselves first and rebuild something new. So that's my mindset, and that was a very another very funny and true story. My CTO, my co-founder, and I, we had a very serious conversation back in 2023. Right, the first half of 2023, I said, hey, I know how proud you are of our knowledge graph-based search engine, but now there are two choices in front of us. Number one, you deny this is an old technology and we need to move everything into this large language model based thing. So see, no one provide the best practice or playbook about, hey, this is a new search engine based on the LLMs. But then we say, fine, in our industry, we always want to be the first one. That's the first choice. Second choice, we die. But before we die, I kill you first. And see, and basically he has no choice. And then we made the dramatic disruptive change, and now we benefit from that. And that's like you saw when the agent worked on the right side, 19 steps of exploring, right? So every step, tens of searches sent out, right? And that's the whole different multi-step planning and execution for search. And users just need to know, I want the best search, okay? Then the AI will explore through hundreds of different combinations to compare the results and say, hey, after the probing, this is the best possible search for you to try, and one button click, yes, apply, right? And then different search results you are seeing.
Your sense of humor is truly engaging. It's really enjoyable to see among my friends and your team here. So when you say that, I actually appreciate it. It makes me think of the quote from Masayoshi Son, who famously asked Adam Newman, who wins in a fight, the smart man or the crazy man? So I'll ask you the same question. Who wins in a fight?
This is the very lucky thing I in my life. When we fought, when I and my co-founder, Xinwen, when we fought, I always won, always. But actually, he won the best. At the end, I realized, right? So I have the smartness, and he has the wisdom. That's how I summarize it. So, and he was my boss at the Samsung R&D center. So he had the high profile position. But I convinced him to quit his job. very quickly, and we co-founded this company. And also, when we founded this company, there must be one CEO. Say, hey, who should be the CEO? Dude, don't ask the stupid question. Of course, you. So that's his wisdom. So if I was him, I couldn't give up that ego. So I am very blessed. Yes. So superficially, I won. I win. But then I think he won and he win the battles all the time.
This morning we talked about leadership and some of the attributes of leadership. Can you just rattle off a couple of things that leadership means to you as you build software?
Yes. I learned these 4 things again from the group of people I love. They say, as a leader, you need to build these 4 things. Number 1, listen. Number 2, educate. Number 3, take a risk. And number 4, raise up competitors to join the game. So I learned it. So I will take these 4 things, right? And Jason Roberts wrote on the napkin. Okay, that napkin will be very precious for me. Okay, so and he summarized what we discussed in that napkin. So that's what leadership means in developing software and internally at a hireEZ. And that's also something we also have the leadership principle for our own leaders here. Okay, so that's something related to our culture. We define principles. First, build a mission-driven team. Okay, for the leader. Mission is very, very important. Okay. Second, build great people greater. Okay, see, and this first great means you got to hire the right people, great people. Okay, so there's no way to build the mediocre to be great. No way. Okay, don't be arrogant to think we are so strong can change people. We can change the way how people work, but not change the people themselves. Okay, so we are both married, and you know that, right? So change how I behave in the house, but probably not change myself, me as a person. Okay, so she is my boss. And third, we want our leaders and to so I mean those are principles, and we playbook, and that also help us a lot. But this morning I learned those leadership means in this new agentic AI, there's a new technology category. I think this is a very great advice.
You're a natural storyteller, which is why you're the CEO. It comes intuitively to you, and there's a leadership principle of joy being a marker of a strong leader. And Dr. Emily Anhalt, who is a psychologist and researcher, she operates a company called COA, really coined this idea of leaders having joy and playfulness at work. And I see that, I experience that in your presence, in the way the community gathers. You also break things down in a way that connects with people to take very complex ideas and make them palatable. Tell me a little bit about this right brain, left brain theory.
I'm not sure if that's a scientific, but I made it up. Okay, hopefully it's not that much unscientific. So I think that we always compete ourselves, right, and conflict in our mind, right, all the time. So as a leader, or as everybody, and we have the emotional part, we also have the logical part. So, and for almost every decision we make, we have that conflict. We battle ourselves. Okay, so at the end, no matter which side wins, it must be the battle, the conflict first, and we debate with ourselves, and then we come up with a final conclusion, right, from this mind. That would be the best. So a lot of decision making was wrong because they only choose one side. Okay, so for example, that emotion controls your logics, or being too logical, too rational, and then you forget about the human part, and you forget about action and the energy part. Okay, so and I may not agree with you about the natural storyteller. Okay, if you knew me 6 years ago, 4 years ago, you probably fear this podcast and this conversation will have been very, very difficult. And I dislike talking to you. So, and English is my third language.
Third language.
Yes, and Hakka and Mandarin, and then English. Hakka is a local dialect. So and then I also changed myself and started to talk with more people. The more you talk with people, right, and our employees and our customers, partners, and community members, I find my own way of saying things. Some vocabulary and some words I spoke might be ridiculous, but then people got used to it. Okay, so okay, that's just Steven's way. So I take advantage of their specialties. Okay.
I'm going to bring us back to talk a little bit about product.
Okay.
We were saying earlier, the left brain, right brain. This is great. Okay, we're going to talk about product. And I'm going to ask you a little bit about the addiction to LinkedIn you spoke of.
Yeah.
And yes, something you said last night. So, Steven, let's talk a little bit more about the product and the launch itself. Last night, you mentioned how recruiters are often measured by their ability to use software. How are you thinking about flipping that on its head?
This is a big mission, and we need to take and tackle. Okay, so the software is becoming a very interesting thing. Okay, so and at the very beginning, we created software for what? For digitalize the work process. Okay, and we want software work for us, but today we work for software. Right? So we have the tracking of how recruiters use hireEZ as a product. And I don't think hireEZ as a product is the worst and is the most difficult product, probably on the opposite, right? Opposite side. And that hireEZ is a UI UX is a very simple already, but still we saw a lot of people, right? And click here and there, back and forth. For sure, I mean, people use other software probably even worse. Why is that? Right? And also you see that the top performers, and they must be able to use the software very, very well. Okay, so we agree, and those are top performers, they are great, okay? But we still have probably 50% people, they supposed to have been great, as at least as great as today's top performer, but they didn't get into that position. Why? Because they didn't know how to use the software at that level. And we need to solve it. We need to let people, the recruiters as a value and their capabilities should be judged by the recruiting itself. Recruiting is about find, connect, convince people to take the best job. Okay, that's the value. Okay, don't forget that. So, and then we got to solve the software, recruiting software issue, so that people, recruiters, and they will compete at the same level at least, okay? And then their talent, their true talent, it's about people building that talent, be the decision factor instead of software. So that's a big mission.
How do you think recruiters can break that addiction to LinkedIn to source talent?
Great question. So first of all, I respect LinkedIn as a business. Who doesn't want to have that type of business, right? And 2016, 17, around that $27 billion. Such a great success. Okay. But then we also need to be objective about what is today and tomorrow. And I think the new generation of technology and the product should be advocated and should be promoted more instead of the addiction. Okay. So LinkedIn is a good product, but we should innovate and get to the new track. The new track is Agentic AI's track. Okay. hireEZ wants to be the first mover and the fastest mover. So we want to compete in the new track. Okay. So, and we want to use the Agentic AI technology and product, make the great usability and also the best capability. Okay. So traditionally, these two conflict with each other. The more capabilities you have in the software and the less usability you will have. Okay, so less usable. But agentic AI is going to change that. So you will have the both at the same time. Usability and capability can be maximized. Okay, so we take the first step already, and we don't want to slow down, and we want to be super fast. Hopefully, the user experience, recruiters experience, and candidate experience, hiring managers experience, that will be the value as the trading power with today's TA professionals. Hey, the three parties experience will be the next level. You got to buy in this new software. Okay, the new generation of recruiting software. And second, the change should also be rooted from the community. I think this conversation is a part of it, right? We need a lot of people like you to work together with us to evangelize, advocate, encourage the new change, conquer the fears.
When I think about agent mode and agentic AI for recruiting, there's a framework that I talk about, which is the third wave of hiring. The first wave is fax machines, paper resumes, file cabinets. Second wave is large enterprise applicant tracking systems. Third wave is AI native, human-centered design. Recruiters deserve beautiful software.
Yeah.
That is going to make this product sticky. Sourcers also have a chip on their shoulder. They love to reverse engineer product and process. The sourcers I know also love to A/B test tools or test something new against an older proven method. We talked about Boolean logic, and if you were to ask sourcers, they would tell you their war stories about their long Boolean strings that they're proud of that return exactly 20 candidates for the role. And they talk to you about their funnel conversion metrics. That's what brings them pride. That's what brings them joy and passion.
Yes.
You don't work in recruiting if you don't love to go out and find. So that is a little bit opposed to what this new agent mode provides for recruiters. I think there will be a space for that scrappy database extraction, running scripts talking to those masters of our industry who have been around. What do you say to the new generation of recruiters that may log in and see beautiful sourcing software for the first time?
So the great technology should always bring the things you just mentioned: pride, joy, confidence to the users. Okay, and that's absolutely true. But this time it will be in a different way. And before, it's like, here's the coffee machine, manually grind the beans, and also put on the whatever, right? The whole very complicated process to produce your first espresso in French way. But now in front of the espresso machine, and you basically have the new capabilities. So still we want to provide the pride, confidence, hope, joy, but it will be in a new way. And we don't want people to have they're so much, I would say, the ego thing into, hey, I just want to have the joy of my old days. No, make change, be the first movers into this agentic AI world, leverage it to bring the stronger, bigger joy, confidence, and pride. So that's my suggestion for all the, I call scrappy sources, okay? So, and they are great engineering mindset. But even engineers, they need to adapt into the new world to leverage the tools like a Cursor, Copilot, and running those tools into agent mode to make their day better, bring more joys, confidence, and pride. So
when I think about major transitions in technology that has impacted how people get hired, there is agent mode and agentic AI and leveraging LLMs that we are currently headed into. But let's rewind the tape. There are two other major social technology forcing functions that completely changed the recruiting industry. Number one, free email. The ability to get into somebody's inbox became free and more accessible. We signed up for Gmail, we signed up for Yahoo and Hotmail. So now we have all of this data tied to individuals, and it's never been easier to get into their inbox.
yeah,
The second major technology social forcing function was the Great Recession. LinkedIn came on the scene 2008, 2009. People were excited by social media. The LinkedIn onboarding experience mirrored Facebook's, and it was low risk. Oh, maybe I'll join this social media profile page and maybe I'll get a job. Because there was high unemployment, more individuals were willing to do that, myself included, being a millennial. What do you think is going to happen if the emerging generation of job seekers, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, doesn't have that level of their guard down for data privacy and technology? And what if the most talented individuals in knowledge work do not create a digital profile?
It's hard to predict the future, and also I'm not that young anymore, so that's something I also need to work on, how to understand it better. But for the technology like email and the technology of the social networks, and they solve the big issue, and fundamentally these two are the same thing. Okay, it's called media, and how you have this path to like a tunnel to connect and one and the two, okay, from A to B, B to A. Okay, so and the new generations, they will always have their own media. They will always have their new ways and very diversified ways of getting connected, and that's something in this agentic AI, generative AI's world, and how to create the new consumer application, right, and the universal application to connect people. So if a person has no digital footprint in the internet, in the technology world, I think it's very, very dangerous and very weird. I think it will be very isolated and it's not very healthy. So
Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It's been wonderful to spend time with your team.
thank you. Thank you, Brandon. It was great conversation. Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.